MD took yesterday, you know, and the energy was high, everything was good. Or maybe you shared a YouTube video with someone, one of the recordings that we have, or, you know, you invited the person for a WhatsApp presentation, things like that. And after sharing all of those things with the person buzzes you, asks 1 or 2 questions, tries to, you know, confirm, okay, this and that, and you have satisfactorily answered the person's questions, and then there's a moment of silence. Yeah? How many people have experienced that before? I mean, there's some, after you have answered the person's question, somebody is waiting for somebody to say something, and there's a moment of silence. How do you feel when there's that moment of silence? How do you feel? Okay, my questions here are do you feel apprehensive? Do you feel like, oh, is this person going to say, give me the account number, or I want to go for this park, or that kind of thing? Do you feel apprehensive? Like, what is this person going to say? Do you feel anxious? Like, oh, I hope I've done a good job in prospecting this person. Do these represent some of the ways that you feel? I would like to tell you something very interesting. You know, I was telling you yesterday about the psychology of human behavior. You know, when you understand basically how human beings are wired generally, then you'll be able to make some bold moves. Yeah? The more you understand, the bolder you get, and the better the results that you would get. Okay? I'd like to tell you something very interesting this afternoon, and that's the fact that most times the prospect is waiting for you to close. Hello. If you can hear me, please type hi. If you can hear me, type hi. Most times the prospect is waiting for you to close. Okay, most prospects want to be led to get started. Yeah, most people want to be led to get started. More often than not, we, the distributors, drop the ball. We drop the ball. At that point, we drop the ball. We're hoping that the person will, you know, after you have presented your manifesto and all of that, you just expect that the person should just say, okay, give me the account number. Of course, it can happen in some rare cases, but more often than not, the person is waiting for you to close after you have answered the questions. Okay, the person is asking, so what next? You know, it was very interesting for me. I think about 3 or 4 weeks ago, one of my team members, very energetic, very gingered kind of person, and I realized she had a big issue with closing. She had people that were ready to sign up, and all of a sudden, she didn't know what to do. I was like, oh, wow. I mean, she was, I just saw that bang, 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 and before we knew what was happening, you know, the person had paid and all of that, you know. So I discovered that this is a very vital skill in our business. If you don't know how to close, then all of our body movements really amounts to nothing. Okay, so if you are following me this morning as I go to the next slide, and this next slide is a very interesting and shocking statistics, yeah? And maybe not shocking for some people, but I mean, it will help you take a look at what you've been doing, and so that you can begin to make adjustments, okay? Many times we don't get the results that we want just because of some little adjustments that we have not yet made. We need to just make a few adjustments, and we'll see that level of results will keep on growing. Yeah. Okay. So I'll share that statistics. Before I do that, you know, I'd like to make reference to this graphic here. It says, keep calm and close the sale. Okay. If you are with me this morning, I want you to type calm down. Yeah. I want you to type calm down. If you can hear me this morning, just type calm down as I go to these very important statistics this morning. Okay. Or this afternoon. At the foundation of closing a sale is follow-up. You know, I tell people that follow-up is gold. Follow-up is gold. Thank you. Calm down. Fantastic. And of course, while we're at it, I mean, in the house, I'm sure you must have heard news about our latest reader baby in the house. You know, who had been, should be having issues. I hope this is being recorded. Is it being recorded? Okay, fantastic. It's being recorded. Okay. About reader baby, you know, the woman had been having issues conceiving, and you know, today we have a reader baby being brought for immunization and all of that. That's really exciting. I mean, our products are doing amazing stuff out there. Okay, so I mean, okay, so we're typing calm down, and then we're here to our next slide. Okay, our next slide shows very shocking statistics about follow-up. Follow-up is gold, like I'm saying. Follow-up is gold. And look at the sales statistics, very, very interesting statistics. It says prospects. Yeah. That means of all of us that are here, we are 13 people in the room at this point. That means only six of us will follow up ever on anybody. Okay, I invited the person for the presentation and the person attended. 6 out of us will be the only ones that will follow, or 6.5. No, I'm not counting myself because I'm a facilitator. So that means we have 12 people in the room. Okay, we have people increasing now. That means for every 2 people, 1 person will never follow up on anybody after they have shown them the opportunity. Okay, so you need to tell yourself, this is the side I belong to. I will follow. Okay. And then it's still more. 25% of sales people make a second contact and then they stop. They make a second contact and then they stop. 12% of sales people get connected so that we can have something hopefully a bit more stable. Okay, let me share my screen again. Sorry about that, guys. It is what it is. Okay. Sorry, 1 minute. Okay, can you hear me now? Yeah, if you can hear me now, I changed my internet source. I hope you can hear me better. If you can hear me better, please type better. Better. If you can hear me better, please type better. I've changed to another internet provider. Better, better, better. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So, yes, I was talking about the fact that follow-up is gold, and I was sharing some interesting statistics with you. I believe you can see my screen right now. Yeah. I believe you can see my screen. You can see my screen. Please let me know you can see my screen so that I can share the statistics with you more accurately. Okay. Okay. So I was sharing the sales statistics about the fact that of every 2 people, only one person will follow up. Only one person will follow up out of 2 people. And that 25% of people make a second contact. That means after they've invited the person, they follow up once, maybe one more time, and then that's it. Okay. 12% only make 3 contacts and then they stop. They feel like Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. And then when they make those 3 contacts, that's the end. The person is not interested and they stop. Okay. But here statistics shows that only 10% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts and stop. That means 90% of people, guys, 90% of people stop after making 3 contacts with their prospects. 90%. So that means if I'm going to make, okay, somebody's asking here, what are we selling if we're really selling opportunity or products? Okay, I'll answer that question very quickly. I'll answer that question later in the course of the training. So I was saying that means 90% of people don't follow up beyond the 3rd sale. 90%. That means only 10% will still keep in touch with the person that they invited for the opportunity after the 3rd time. Only 10%. So that means most people will just opt and go. Yeah? Statistics says 2% of sales are made on the first contact. And this is very important. Or sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you have a sale literally fall on your laps. So a few times, 2 out of 100 times, you can make a sale on your first contact. That means at that time, the person was probably already ready to buy whatever you have to sell, yeah? And then you just came at the right time and you were able to make that sale. So 2% of sales are made on the first contact. 3% of sales are made on the second contact. That means even the difference between first and second contact most times is not a lot. So that means you really should treat your second and your third contact as well as your fourth contact as like the same thing, okay? Follow-up is gold. 3% of sales are made on the second contact. 5% of sales are made on the third contact. 10% of sales are made on the fourth contact. Can you see the trajectory now? You have 2, 3, 5, 10. The difference between 2 and 10 is not so much, but when you have, the last statistics here that we have says 80% of sales are made from the 5th to the 12th contact. That is statistics. That is data. Yeah, this is based on data. It says 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. So that means if I drop out at the 4th contact, I have made of no effect all the work that I did before then. That means follow-up is really where the work is. Okay? So the process of closing a sale involves some level of follow-up. Okay? And it's important that we note that very importantly. So that sometimes, you want to close a sale and the sale has not gotten to the point in which it's ripe for closure. That's where follow-up is important. I didn't want to treat closing a sale without addressing follow-up, because I tell people that people are at different levels and stages of their lives, and people get ready at different times. Sometimes someone is ready to come on board. He does not have the means at that time to come on board, but he wants to come on board. And then one day, you just buzz the person and say, oh, we have pending business discussions. The person said, exactly, the money I was waiting for just entered my account now. I'm ready to sign up now. But at the time you told the person was ready, but the person was not ready, as it were. Okay, so follow-up is at the foundation of closing a sale. Now, let me give a quick definition of the word selling or sale. Okay, it's the transfer of emotions. Selling is a transfer of emotions. Now, if I feel convinced about something and I want to share it with somebody, and I've successfully done that, and the person buys into the idea, I have made a sale. Yeah? So at the foundation of our business is sales. When I share my opportunity with somebody and the person says, yes, I'm ready to go ahead with it, then I've made a sale. Sale happens when the person has paid money and gotten value for what he has bought. So without a sale, there's no business at all. Okay, so at the foundation of every business is sales. So we can't divorce sales from what we do. So of course, we're not hawking or selling products. We're sharing our opportunity with people. But at the point when people pay and get value for what they get, we have made a sale. Okay? We are building a network of people who share the opportunity with people. But at the point of closing every sale or any transaction, a sale is made. So that's the difference. I hope that is clear for Baba OC that is asking, what are we selling if we are really selling? Okay, opportunity or products. Okay, I think that's a topic, that's probably a training topic I will share another time. Okay, I think the MD also even treated it yesterday, talking about the bicycle. Yes, every opportunity will result in sales. Okay, some people will sell the products, but the real big value of what we have is the opportunity. That's where you can really make something big. Just like, somebody is doing business. Somebody can be selling water and the person is just barely feeding his family. And somebody else is selling water and is making the wealth transgenerational. They are selling the same thing, but their perspective of what they're selling makes all the difference. So if you look at it and say, okay, we're selling reader, it's way deeper than that. We're building a network of people and ensuring that distribution happens. So, but for every time somebody wants to get value and the person pays, a sale is made. Okay, so I think I already treated that now. So let's go straight to the next slide. I hope you are getting some value from these statistics and you're trying to place yourself and see the places where you need to make adjustments. That's very important. Okay, and I'd like to treat this treating the common blocks to closing a sale, the things that prevent us from effectively converting our prospecting efforts into sales. There are 4 major common blocks that hinder a number of us from being able to effectively close a sale. Number 1 is fear. Yeah. For whatever reason, fear of whatever. I mean, for many people, fear of rejection. You don't want anybody to say, no, I am not interested in what you have to offer. Okay, so there's a massive fear of rejection. Nobody wants to feel like, yeah, I mean, you don't want to feel rejected. You don't want to hear the word no. So somehow in your mind, I mean, just like I had a season with one of my team members last week, and it was a call, and while we're on the 3-way call, my own internet just decided to go off. Yeah, I could hear both of them clearly, but they couldn't hear me anymore. I was saying hello, hello, hello. They couldn't hear me, and I didn't want to cut the call, because if I cut the call, it would cut everybody off. So I just stayed on the call and listened while my team member went ahead to continue. I mean, she had to continue because I was talking at a point they couldn't hear me anymore. So she had to continue with the season, with the 3-way call. So while they continued, she answered some of his questions and all of that. And when that was done, she just said, we look forward to welcoming you into the business. And they just closed it like that. After I called that fast fire, I said, madam, you didn't close that sale. You didn't. And you will get to understand what I mean in the next 1, 2, 3 slides. I want to make this happen in a record time. Okay. I don't know what the block was. Maybe fear. I don't know. Maybe not wanting to appear pushy, which is one of the things that we're also treating here. So fear. I mean, some people are just afraid to just hear no for whatever reason, because they take it personal. And we tell people, don't take this personal. It's not personal. Some people are saying no out of frustration. They really wish they could do gold. But even bronze right now, they can't do. So when they say no, they are saying it's hurting them. Yeah, so it's not about you. It's not about you. Yeah, and you need to understand that fact. Lack of confidence. Some people are not confident enough to ask the question that converts their presentation into a sale. They don't have that confidence to ask that question, okay? Some assume that the customer needs more time. I mean, and this one is really tricky. I think this is what that person on my team did last week. She just assumed that the person will need more time, before making a decision to go ahead. That assumption is a very low level of, I don't know what to call it, but assuming for the person is not necessary. Ask direct questions. Be bold enough to ask direct questions. After you have presented your opportunities, the person has asked questions, you have answered all the person's questions. What else is remaining? Guy, come on board. That is what is remaining. And I will show you some of the questions that we can ask, prospects, and how we can close the sale. Some people don't want to appear pushy. Leave the person when the person is ready. If you look at the way advertising works, the way marketing works, everybody is pushing, man. People are pushing for people's attention. Okay, it's the person that can shout the loudest. It's the person that can get to the person the quickest. Okay, that will get the sale done. Okay, so not wanting to appear pushy. Of course, there are some terminologies you shouldn't use. There's a professional way to share your opportunity and to close the sale. So, there's a professional way to go about it. But don't even think that you're not wanting to appear pushy, you'll not close the sale. Nope. Okay, you should close the sale. Don't worry about not being pushy. I will show you 1 or 2 things that you'll be able to do to effectively close a sale professionally. Okay, I believe we're still following me. Okay, if you identify with any of these blocks, if any of them is a little bit familiar with you, or you can relate with any of them, please type which of them you can relate to very quickly before I go to the next slide. Which of these blocks can you relate to? Which one looks like, now I see the reason why I have not been closing sales the way I should. Is anybody in the house this afternoon? Is anybody ready to take responsibility and be upfront with me this afternoon to tell me, this is the reason why I've not been closing sales like I should? Anybody? Okay, not wanting to appear pushy. Nice, okay? Yeah, I can relate. I can so relate. So let's go to our next slide very quickly. I don't think I can overestimate this statement. I don't think I can overflog it. And that's the fact that closing is crucial. Without closing, we don't have Green Mondays. Without closing, we don't have, yeah, she needs more time. You assume that the person needs more time. yeah, just assume that the person needs more time. Yeah. Closing is a make or break moment in sales. It's a make or break moment in sales. It's so important to know that, how you handle that will determine how things will go from here for your business. Choosing the right things to say after sharing your opportunity is crucial. You need to know the right things to say. What you say is likely giving the final verdict and determines whether or not your efforts will amount to anything at all. I think I already mentioned that earlier on, to say that, if we don't put in the right effort, if we don't strategically do the thing we need to do, then our work may really just be in vain. And, somebody may plant, Paul may plant, and Apollos will water, and Justina will go and chop the increase. That's why it happens, because Justina has already mastered how to close a sale. So guys, don't go and work and somebody else will chop your work. I don't know whether you heard it before. You're about to close a sale with someone, the person say, my neighbor told me about this. So your neighbor didn't close the sale. Okay, closing is a make or break moment. Okay, once you're able to hit it and get it, then you are good. So it's important knowing the right things to say. Okay, and then we have, based on research, based on all of that, we have various kinds of closes. Okay, there are many of them, but I decided to narrow this down into two so that we can focus. Yeah, so that we can focus and we can have the ones that really apply to our business. And of course, having many types will not really do us much good. So, but once we can narrow it down, we can apply it directly to our business. Okay, types of closes we have: now or never closes. This now or never closes creates a sense of urgency. Yeah, they help the prospect to overcome inertia. Whether you like it or not, inertia has to do with the power to getting started. Some people have issues with making up their minds. They can be indecisive. So many times we need to help our prospects make that decision to come on board. Okay, and one of the ways we can do that is to offer extra value for coming on board. And that's why sometimes when somebody's doing a presentation, the person would say, anyone that comes on board today would get a bottle of 250 ml reader, for example. Okay, so, and that this offer closes in 24 hours. That is that's a now or never kind of sale of closing. So that kind of offer is not available beyond 24 hours. After 24 hours, this offer is no longer on the table. So the person who is trying to check, the person will say, that's 250 mils. Even if I don't use it and I sell it 2.5, extra 2.5. That's not bad though. Let me make up my mind. Let me just pay for this and let me do it. So we have the now or never closes, in which case you offer a gift to the person who comes on board today, on board that day. Okay, so, and if it happens that you offer that gift and the person honestly, sincerely doesn't have the means to come on board, yeah, and the person says, I will not be able to come on board today, will you just leave it and say, hey, yeah, you will not get my gift? No, you will take the discussion further. We are looking at closing a sale. You are following up until you close the sale. So the person says, I won't be able to come on board today. Okay, you say, okay, when would you be able to come on board? The person says, end of the month, I'm expecting some money. Okay, so you ask the person, so if I buzz you at the end of the month, you'll be ready and good to go. You say, yes, I'll be ready to come on board. You say, okay, well, I'll see what will be possible by then, but this offer closes. So, and if anything changes within 24 hours, of course, I'm still available, you can buzz me. So you have successfully tried to close the sale, 1, 2, and you've gotten a commitment from the person to come on board, at the end of the month. So you have tried to do, but what's most important about the now or never close is the fact that it creates a sense of urgency and it helps the prospect to overcome the indecision involved in coming on board. Then secondly, we have the summary closes. And these summary closes, I've tried to zoom in on it And I've given a number of examples based on our business on how you can use it. Yeah. So you have shared the opportunity, you have answered the person's questions, and you have answered the person's question, and the person seems okay with it. What next would you do in order to be able to summarize everything that you have said? So this opportunity is amazing. I mean, you can see how it connects with what you want to achieve, and it would be good to work with you in this business. After saying all of that summary, what do you do next? You give the person the link, for example, to fill. I mean, give person your Green Mondays link, let the person sign up, and you follow up with the person in a few minutes. Are you on the site? Have you filled the form? Have you submitted? Yeah. That is one way to begin to close. Another way is to ask, which of the packages would you want to start with? Like, for example, the three-way call that happened last week, the lady didn't even ask, which package are you coming in with? Which clinical, I mean, all of those questions were not asked, and a three-way call was wasted. Now, I remember one of my team members, I think about 2 months or so ago, I had a three-way call with her, and, you know, she was saying that, that's this prospect, she has been talking to her, but there's see finish. I mean, they went to school together. She wants her to talk with somebody who she's not familiar with and all of that. And that she's really dragging feet. She doesn't want to come on board, blah, blah, blah. So by the time we had the three-way call, I answered one or two questions that she had. And I asked her, which of the packages would she come in with? She said gold. And this was somebody who they were trying to convince to come in with the bronze pack, okay? I asked her that question and she said, okay, I would like to come in with the gold pack. So those questions also help you up the value sometimes of what you are offering to the person. Okay, so we ask the person, which of the packages would you want to start with? The person says bronze. Say bronze. Well, it's a starting point. A starting point, but I mean, what I have in mind for you in this business, you can grow, you can upgrade and things like that. I mean, so you already make the person feel, oh, when I'm coming in as bronze, I need to really plan and upgrade and upgrade and upgrade. The goal is VIP, okay? So another question to ask, also, I mean, if you are trying to push it, is to ask, I asked that, for example, but this happened to me last week. There was a lady I started talking to, I think on Monday or so. On Monday, she asked a couple of questions back and forth. I mean, plenty of questions, okay? After answering all her questions, I think on Tuesday, I got busy. I couldn't follow up with her. Wednesday, I think around night or so. No, I think it was on Thursday before I eventually got to speak with her. But we had really progressed discussion on, but I sent her the link to sign up. She had filled the form online. So it was just remaining to pay. And I gave her account details to pay, I think since Tuesday, but she hadn't paid. So on Thursday, I just told her, what's happening here? This lady has filled form and wants to sign, and wants to pay. So I just sent her a message. If you want the product delivered to you, it can be delivered to you today. That was the message I sent to her. Guys, she had already said, oh, well, I'll do bronze. I sent her a message and said the product can be delivered to you today. Guys, she called me. It was the message I sent to her. She called me and said, really? It can be sent to me. I would really appreciate that if I can get the product today, blah, blah, blah. And before we know what was happening, she had paid 67K into the account. She did bronze pack and she did some N10s based on the product, some other extra products that she needed. And she got her products that day. Because I pushed to close the sale. We have been talking since Monday. And for some people, we've been talking for weeks. But I mean, this is just an example of what making the extra move to close the sale can actually do. Just by getting the message that she could get her products that day, changed the game for her. And, she came on board. Okay, so how would you like to have your starter pack products, delivery or pickup? All of those ones are really inching it closer, and you are telling the person you are in already. You need to make a decision how you want to have your products. Okay, then another way is to say the company has different banks that it uses. These are creative ways. I mean, these are some of the things that I use. The company has different banks it uses. Do you have a preferred bank that you would like to send the money to? Or so that I will know which details to give you. That's another way to close it. You have already moved past asking questions. I tell people to the asking of questions, there shall be no end. When you come on board, you still have questions to ask. Okay, so the person has different bank, the company has different banks it uses. Do you have a preferred bank so that we know which bank account to send to you? That's another way to inch it closer to close the sale. Okay, another way is to ask, would you want to do a transfer or you want to do a bank deposit? All of that are moves and ways to ensure that they are moving closer to closing the sale. So you have the now or never closing and you have the summary closing. All of these are very valuable in helping you close sales. They are powerful. You should try them. Okay, so what do you do now? Haven't heard, okay, that we have two major types of closing that we're treating. There are many though. I mean, we've treated two of them. We've looked at the fact that most people don't follow up, and so they don't close sales. And many people lose many opportunities to grow their teams, to even make sales of their products and all of that. Haven't looked at all of that and looked at the common blocks and how by using some of these closes, we can overcome them. What is the worst that can happen if I'm afraid? Anyways, what's the worst that can happen? Somebody says no, and then what? Those blocks are not enough. If you're here and you have it, I mean, what would the person say? You know, sometimes people talk about, say, the woman has been on my neck. That's all that person will say. The person is disturbing me. So, I mean, that's the worst that can happen. So it's not enough. It's not enough to deter me from achieving what I want to achieve. So looking at the common blocks, looking at the types of closes, now what must I do? What is the next thing that I need to do now? Looking at my business and looking at where I want to get to and looking at the fact that I'm far from where I want to get to in this business. Go to your follow-up list. If you are like me and you have a lot of people that you have shared the opportunity with and they are still in the cooler, they have not yet come on board, go to that list after this training and dust up the hanging discussions that you have had with people and drive towards closure, guys. Drive towards closure. So go to that list. The ones that say, I will get back to you. I will sign up. I'm coming. I will, all of that. Go and revive those hanging discussions and drive towards closure. Let me tell you another one that happened. I was shocked. Yeah, I was really shocked. This was, I think it was on Friday or so. There was this lady who we had been discussing. At a point, she said, she would like to do stockies, but she doesn't have the money. I said, well, you can start with silver or gold. Then after that, you can go for the stockies pack. So we had spoken, and then it was a hanging discussion. The thing has hanged now for, I don't know, maybe like 2-3 weeks. So all of a sudden, I mean, I just remembered her, and I just bought her, and I said, oh, girl, we have hanging business discussion. Oh. You will not believe the response she sent to me. She says, I am ready to come on board now. Of course, that doesn't happen all the time. I tell people we're having hanging discussion and then we're still discussing. So it happens like that. But I mean, I tell you, there's massive power in ensuring that you're following up. So I just bought her and I said, we have hanging business discussion now. What's up? She said, actually, Emma, I'm ready to come on board now. I'm not yet ready to do that stockies thing, but I'm ready to come on board now. That's what happens when you go to your follow-up list and you dust it up and you drive those hanging discussions towards closure. It's powerful. Okay? So, I mean, you are chatting with somebody who you shared the opportunity with some time ago. After you have chit-chatted, you remind the person that you have a pending business discussion and wait for their response. This is very important. This is the part I want to address here. Very important. After chatting with the person and reminding the person, oh, okay, we have a pending business discussion. You said you were ready to come on board. How far? When you ask the person how far, keep quiet. Yeah? After you have asked the person how far, keep quiet. Are you still with me in class this afternoon? I'm gradually winding down. Okay? After you have asked the person how far, wait for a response. Use silence to an advantage in closing. It works. It works. Many times we want to just, it's like we don't want there to be silence. So we want to do all the talking. And by doing all the talking, many times we shoot ourselves in the foot. Okay? So when you talk hurriedly, after you have told the person, okay, how far? You say you're coming on with the silver pack. How far? Wait for the person's response. If the person doesn't respond, give the person some time and buzz the person again. How far? You'll be amazed at how much better results you get that way. Okay? But when you're talking too much, you give yourself, what do they call it? You pass across as desperate. You pass across, okay, you say you wanted to come on board as a silver. Okay, if you cannot do silver now, can you do the bronze? Okay, and in case you cannot do the bronze now, maybe you can, if you have like 20K, if you have 20K, you can bring in 20K now, and you have talk. You have not even heard what the person has to say. You already spoke yourself from silver to bronze, even to less than bronze, because you didn't use silence to your advantage. You can use silence to your advantage. I remember a 3-way call I had with one of my team members last week. And, you know, the lady that we had a 3-way call with, the prospect, was asking very funny questions. And I made her know that, no, this is a business. This is what we do. When you come on board, if you want to achieve this, this is what you need to do. And it was a very, I mean, my team members that had the, I had this with, I'm sure she must have wondered, Emma, calm down, you know. I said, no, we are going somewhere. It's a business. If something is a business, we treat it like a business and we'll get business results. So this, said, okay. And said, okay, the product, I need to be sure that this, and I answered her scientifically, you know, based on the product, this. I mean, I personally didn't expect anything fantastic to come out from that 3-way call. And guess what happened? 2 days after, I get a message that she was considering coming in as VIP. Yeah. So I spoke with her, shared, after she asked a question, I answered her question and I waited. I asked her, is it clear? She said, yes. She said, okay, I will get back to you. And she said she'll contact the person that invited her and she'll make a decision if she wanted to do the business or not. I said, that's fine. I said, but the people I actually see are people that are ready to come on, but I didn't know that you were not ready. I wouldn't have had this call. In fact, that was what I had with her, you know, and that was how the discussion ended. And for me to hear 2 days after that she was considering coming on board as VIP, I found that really very, very, very interesting. Okay, so but if I try to talk and convince her hurriedly and said, okay, it's not like that, no. Okay, present your opportunity, answer the questions, and keep quiet. Use that silence to your advantage. And help the person ease gradually into coming on board. When we talk so much, we give off our professionalism and we come across as needy and pushy, okay? But professionally, we can actually make our points known. There was a chart I saw, I don't think it's here, okay? But maybe I'll share it in the group one of these days that shows how best to close a sale. So we have the process here. We have buying signals, you know, somebody shows interest. Maybe you share something on your status and person say, correct, okay? So, and you start engaging the person. You select a closing technique based on what we have shared, and you use that closing technique for that person. You close the sale, deal with objections, and you keep quiet. So that's the process that we have here. Okay, so I think that will be all for now. Let me stop sharing my screen. Let me see if I can share. There's a write-up I saw that I thought I put it here, but I don't think I have it. But maybe I'll just share it in the group. I don't think I have it here. I would have loved to share it. It talks about people who are firm. When you are firm and professional, you get a lot more results in closure than coming across as weak. You are not able to effectively close the sale. So you can be firm and warm. That way you are able to close the sale better. But when you come across as weak, when people don't feel like, this person can actually work with me, support me. And that's why sometimes you need your upline to help you close some of these sales until you get a lot more comfortable to do it on your own. Okay, so, and finally, my last slide today says, you don't close a sale, you open a relationship if you want to build a long-term successful enterprise. And which corroborates what Babaosi said earlier, to say that here in this business, in closing a sale, we're actually opening up the doors to opportunities. We're opening the doors to opportunities for building relationships, for building lifelong relationships, for achieving our dreams, and for accessing opportunities to leave a legacy. Okay, so behind closing a sale is a plethora of different possibilities. Okay, but before that can happen, before that will begin to happen, we need to close sales. Okay, we need to close sales. People need to sign up. Whenever anybody signs up, a sale is closed. Whenever anybody signs up, a sale is closed. Whenever anybody signs up, a sale is closed. Okay, and without sales, we don't get paid. Without sales, we are not in business. Okay, I hope with these few points of mine, I have been able to share with you how to close a sale. I hope you will go back to the people, the hanging and the pending discussions you have had, and you will go back and follow them up to closure. I hope you will be in the statistics of the 10% who will follow up to closure. I hope you will not be in the 90% of people who will give up and somebody else will rip up their work. Closure is important. Closure is what gets the checks in, is what gets the alerts, is what keeps the Mondays green. Okay, I hope it's clear. I hope it's clear. I hope it's clear. I would like to take any questions. If you have any questions in the house, I would like to take one question or two as we wind up this beautiful Monday afternoon. Any questions, please, or any addition? Any thoughts? Okay, I can see Dr. Aino is in the building. Do you have any thoughts to share? Okay. Okay, I've asked if anybody has any thoughts to share, and I'm keeping quiet so that I don't talk too much. I'm trying to practice what I'm preaching. Okay, so great. In the absence of any questions or thoughts, I believe you have gotten value today, and I encourage you to let's go practice what you have learned. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, you were on some calls. She was closing some sales. Okay, Dr. Anna, it's okay. It's all right. So thank you very much for having me. It's my pleasure. Please don't miss 6 p.m. today. We're going to have one of my team members, Temitope, is going to take 6 p.m. She's gentle, but she's firm. She's warm, but she's making things happen. She's getting in some VIPs rolling, and she's taking her business to the next level. You don't want to miss, she's an accountant, so you don't want to miss her. It's not because she's an accountant that you don't want to miss her training today. But I mean, she's someone that I've seen growing. She's grown, and she's still growing in the business. You don't want to get your prospects not to attend the training with her at 6 p.m. today. Please make it a date at 6 p.m. as we share the opportunity with our prospects. Invite them and let's share with them. Let's close some sales. Let's build our business and let's make the Mondays green. Thank you very much. Have a lovely, lovely afternoon. God bless you. Thank you. Yeah, peace. Thank you. You can stop recording now. You can stop recording. Yes, you get the recording, man. Yes.